The evidence is overwhelming. As an AI's context window fills up, the model output degrades. It's even got a name. It's called context rot. You can think about it this way. When you're in a conversation with someone and you're fully present, you're giving great answers. But when you're talking to someone and you're thinking about last night's football game and what's going on at work, your answers aren't as great. It's not because you got dumber, you just got distracted. And the same thing is true in Claude. The context window is like its working memory. So your current question, all the files it's read, the debugging rabbit hole went down an hour ago, they're all kind of jumbled up in there together, and it's not doing its best work. In this video, I'm going to show you how to actually manage this inside Claude Code, how to see your current context usage, how to keep it lean, and how to get more done before things start to degrade. You've probably heard the saying, what gets measured gets improved. And I think that also applies to context management. Because by default in Claude Code, the context usage measurement isn't really in your face all the time. It's only when you hit the end of the context window that you get the compact message to compact your conversation. You can use the context command and that'll give you a visual of your context at any moment in time. We don't have to do that all the time. What I did is I added it right to my status bar. You see here in yellow, it's got 130,000 tokens used out of the 200,000 context window, 65% usage. This way, as I'm going through Claude Code and putting in commands, I can just see it's growing over time. It's always right in my face. Get that added, you can just use a prompt like this. Just say add context usage to status bar. And then what I did is I made it change color based on what percentage of the context window is being filled up. So I said under 50%, you're in the green. Yellow is 50 to 75, and red is over 75%. And I'll add this to the description of the video if you want to add it to your own. I didn't just pull these numbers out of nowhere. Found from like all the research on context rot and even my own experience, once you get about 50%, that's when it starts making more mistakes and the problem really starts showing up. And having that measurement right in your face all the time does help. Like in this example, I might decide to compact earlier than I normally would, because I'm seeing this in the yellow zone now. Now our context usage is back in the green again. Another place that historically has been very context inefficient is MCP servers. Because every time Claude Code loads up MCP servers, it has to load up the schema of all the different tools for all the servers, put those all in the context right from the start. Just in the last couple of days, that's actually changed. Now they have a new feature where you can actually configure it to search for tools instead of them being loaded into context automatically. Let's jump back into Claude Code. I'll show you how it works because this is a big upgrade for context efficiency. I'll just start a brand new session in Claude Code, and we can see here, if I look at the context for the detailed breakdown, the MCP tools already take up 8.2% of my context window. And I only have 3 MCP tools set up. I have one for Neon, Vercel, and Context 7. So you can very quickly get to where this number is 25% plus, even 50% I've seen in some cases. The new update from Claude, for this one you don't have to do anything. It's when it gets over 10%, it starts implementing its searching functionality where instead of loading all these in here, it actually searches for them. There's also a setting to just turn this searching on by default, so we'll search all the time. And to enable that, all you have to do is set the environment variable enable tool search to true. Now if I do the context command again, now you see I don't even have anything in my context for MCP servers. Notice it's turned the listings of all my MCP servers into this kind of gray color. And it says here, loaded on demand. Now if I ask a question I need the MCP server for, it's going to do this thing called a tool search. It's going to search tools, or in this case, my Neon list projects. Then it's going to find the tool and then run the tool. And then it gives me my projects. So there's an extra step when you do it this way. You reduce your context to basically nothing, but you do have to add a step every time it needs to contact an MCP server. It has to do this tool search. That's the trade-off there. So make sure you have Claude Code up to date because this new update's a big deal when it comes to context efficiency for MCP servers. When it comes to skills in Claude Code, they're much more context efficient because of this thing called progressive disclosure, which is kind of a fancy way of saying lazy loading. Just another way of saying, just give me what I need when I need it. To understand why Claude skills are so context efficient, you have to look at how progressive disclosure works. When you first load a Claude Code session, it's just going to read this dark blue part at the top, and this is going to give it the name of the skill and a good description of what it does. This way, Claude can keep it in the context throughout the session, and only when it needs this exact skill, like in this case, maybe it needs to merge or split a PDF document, only at that point, when it actually needs it, it loads the rest, this light blue part. And then when it loads the light blue part, you can actually reference other skills inside your skill. So in this case, it's referencing 2 markdown files. And again, now Claude's going to evaluate, do I actually need to go look at that other skill or not? In this case, maybe it doesn't need examples. So it doesn't need this reference one, but it does need the forms one. So only at the point where it actually needs it would it go and load in this markdown file and load that into the context. So the whole thing's set up very context efficient. So it only loads into the context information it actually needs to use. And for that reason, when you look at the detailed context inside Claude Code, you usually see your skills take up a pretty tiny part of the overall context window. Usually it's under 100 tokens for most skills, which is basically the description of what the skill does. Which is one of the reasons I've been leaning more into skills lately. I also find they're much easier to update, and you can have them learn from your unique situation and how you want them to work. I actually did a video recently on auto-improving Claude Code skills. I'll link it at the end if you want to check that one out. A lot of people think of subagents as just a way to create reusable prompts, but they're kind of missing the main point. The real value is that each subagent gets its own context window. I'll show you how this works using a real application I have for a customer. We're starting a brand new conversation. The context window is clear, 0 out of 200,000 tokens. If I just say research both backend and front end changes needed to add a customer notified order is ready for pickup. And now what it's going to do is explore the schema of the database, explore the APIs, explore the front end components. It's going to do that all in this main context window. So you can see it's growing now. It's already at 20,000. One interesting thing actually in this case, it did already launch an agent, the plan agent. This is one of the out-of-the-box agents you're going to get in Claude Code, so that's just going to happen automatically for you. And now it's doing all that work inside here and saving your context window. So it's not really going up anymore. It's kind of sitting at 22,000 because this now has its own context window. But even with that, by the time it was all done, it used 18% of the context window. And I haven't written a line of code yet. I'm going to start a new session. I'm going to see how that might work using subagents. So if I use the agents command, and now I say create new agent. And by the way, you can see here the ones that are built in. This is the plan one I was talking about that I used earlier. If they create new agent, you can create them for just your project, or personal means universal for your whole computer. So I'm just going to create this one for the project. And we'll let Claude generate it. So that basically means you just give some notes to Claude, and then it can actually produce the agent for you and do a nice job of it. What I want to do is just create a backend agent and a front-end agent. So for example, the backend one is going to analyze the backend code bases and return implementation plans. Never modify files, only research and report, and then save detailed findings to a markdown file and return a 3-line summary. It's going to get sent back up to our main conversation into that context window, and then keeping this context window for this research all self-contained. So those two agents in place, and I'm in planning mode again. Now I'm just going to put the same prompt I did last time. Let's see what that does in terms of context usage. You see right away it says, I'll research both the backend and front end changes needed for this feature by launching 2 specialized agents in parallel. And now we see it's launching our 2 agents. And we can see the tokens going up here for these 2 agents, but our main usage is still at 0% at this point. So they're finished up, and it seems like it actually gave me a better plan, at least more organized when it did it with the agents versus just having everything in the same conversation. Context usage isn't as much as I thought it would be. It did save a few percent. I think you get the idea. With bigger use cases, like in this case, I probably got away with using it in one context window. It's not that big a deal for a relatively small change. But as you get more complexity, you can really start to use subagents as a way to have separated context windows and keep the context window of your main chat in a healthy place. So in this video, I've talked a lot about keeping the context window lean. And you're probably thinking, but doesn't Claude need to know about the context to know the history of what's happened and where to find files and stuff like that? And that's where the CLAUDE.md file comes into play. It's this special file that gets loaded into every conversation. You can think of the CLAUDE.md file as kind of a shortcut. So I'm going to do an init on this code base that doesn't have a CLAUDE.md file. And what that's going to do is look through your entire code base and take out the key pieces, like what technologies you're using, what's the general structure of your project. So we're going to find files for a particular piece of functionality. Also things like audit logging architecture, API root patterns, database schemas, all that important stuff that it references all the time. And in this case, I just fixed a date handling issue. And we see the last bullet point here. It said key patterns, including the date handling fix we just made. What it means, I can now safely compact this context window, because right now I'm at 64%. And I'll still have all that key information stored in my Claude.md file. And if we have a look at the Claude Markdown file produced, we're going to see things like commands. So now it knows how to deploy it, how to run database migrations. It's going to know my tech stack, all the technologies I'm using. Like it knows I'm using Clerk to do authentication, for example. As well as things like database schemas, API routes, audit logging. Like I was saying, it's basically a shortcut for everything to do with this application that gets loaded into every conversation's context. What it means if you do this correctly, you can clear your context and keep it in that nice, healthy 0 to 50% range more of the time. Another thing people don't realize is the CLAUDE.md file in this main root of my project, that's the one that gets loaded into every conversation. You can also create CLAUDE.md files in subfolders. So I copy this CLAUDE.md, I put it into my API folder. And then after I ask Claude Code to update this with just API details, Now it's giving me a Claude.md file just for the API folder with all the details about my RESTful APIs. And the benefit of this is, again, it uses progressive disclosure. It's only when it updates code in this API folder that actually loads the Claude.md file for that folder into context. So on big complex projects, it makes sense to have a lot of these Claude.md files throughout your project to optimize your context. So those are the basics you really need to know for avoiding context rot inside Claude Code. And I'll be doing more videos on this because this is a very evolving subject. Like, for example, that MCP update, it just happened in the last few days. So I'm sure there'll be more innovations and more improvements in that as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're interested in Claude Code. Hope you're having an amazing day. I'll talk to you in the next one.